About 1878, always in time with the international expositions, that's when new things appeared in the French doll market, there became an interest in moving away from the lady dolls into creating child dolls known as bébés, B-E-B-E, the bébé. Now, there was a lot of controversy over this. Emile Jumeau, who was probably the most prolific of the doll makers, really early on moved into making his doll bodies out of composition in wood. Leon Casimir Bru, who had been making French poupées for some time with kid bodies and had a technique for making these absolutely luxe, sturdy, strong kid bodies, he wanted to continue making his bébé with a kid body. And that's what he did. I wanted to show you one of the early models of Bru Bebe that we have appearing in an Always Remarkable. And this doll truly is an Always Remarkable. There's so many things going for it. Stop shaking. This doll is the Bebe-Teteur. And this was deposed by Leon Casimir Bru in the early 1880s. And it was designed as a nursing brew, a baby with a little bottle. And in fact, this particular one, I'm going to show you this right off the bat because this is so rare, has its own original glass baby bottle, and the bottom of which it says Bebe-Teteur. So this was his original, or her original drinking bottle. Now, let me show you some details about it. This doll was so popular that it was made for a period of almost 15 years. Different facial models, different body styles, but always the nursing brew, the Bebe-Teteur. This would be the earliest example of the Bebe-Teteur, and it was made with a distinctive face. This actual facial model of the Bru Bebe was made to accommodate the mechanism of the nursing brew, and that's why it has those really plump, chubby cheeks. Then it was also made simply as a bebe because everybody thought it was so beautiful without the mechanism. So let's turn it around and let me just show you what makes the Bebe-Teteur. This is the original lamb's wool wig, by the way, which is loose. And there's the cork pate, and you're seeing the metal screw at the back of the head, which was designed to turn the rubber ball inside the head and create the little squeaking mechanism that would cause the doll to suck on the bottle. Now, thankfully, I think a lot of parents didn't fill that bottle with anything in it. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any existing dolls left anymore. So I think it was more of a notion than something that actually occurred. Certainly, that's the case with this doll, because this is about as pure and perfect a model of the Bebe-Teteur that I have ever had pass through my hands. And first thing I want you to look at, wow, look at those eyes. I call them the splendid eyes. And they don't show up in every French doll there is. Every once in a while you find a French doll that has these absolutely stunning eyes, and this girl has it. She has the original mechanism in her head, the original turn screw at the back. She has the slightly parted with lips with a little tiny drilled hole right between the lips that allowed to accommodate to the nipple of the body, of the bottle. That's a big bottle for that doll, by the way. And she has her original, very, very sturdy body with bisque hands. And one of the reasons that it was made in such a luxury quality, check out the label on the body, Au Nom Bleu. One of the most prestigious Paris doll shops of the period. So she has her original mechanism, original wig, splendid eyes, very sturdy body, perfect hands, original paper label of Au Nom Bleu, labeled baby bottle. And she has an incredible original trousseau. She has 2 bibs. She has little napkins. She has 2 bonnets. She has, look at that, wonderful cashmere woolen undergarment. And then a patterned cotton undergarment slip. And she has, in addition, a ruffled bonnet, which is very lovely on her, by the way. Fits perfectly. The tradition was you would put the cap on first, which would kind of hold your hair, and then you'd put the ruffled bonnet on. I don't know if I got that on right or not. And then she has she's wearing this beautiful blue dress. That's what you'll see her in the catalog, which turns you into like a little child. Very, very beautiful. And she has, in addition to that, 4 robes, all of beautiful handwork. That one. And then this one with the beautiful broderie anglaise cut work on it. So she has a complete trousseau as well, and her beautiful little blue socks and shoes. So she is a vision in blue. She's an absolutely wonderful doll, a treasure to find dolls so perfect and original as this doll is. And I hope she goes to the home of someone who will love her so much. So I told you one of my favorite catalogs I ever worked on was French dolls in folklore costume. Another of my very favorite I ever worked on was the one called In the Palm of the Hand, and it was about little dolls. And I wrote about little dolls, sizes 0, 1, 2, French dolls that were designed to fit in the palm of the hand. You know, this fascination with little dolls continued forever, really. Right on through in the 1950s in America, you had the little Wendykins, you had the little Ginny dolls, little 8-inch dolls designed to fit in the palm of the hand. An absolute fascination for collectors, for children at the time, whichever era it was in, because they were kind of like their size, and they could understand them, and they could handle them and work with them. Well, I'm happy to say that fascination with the little dolls is carried over to collectors who have a fascination for them too. And we have a wonderful group of them in Always Remarkable catalog. Let's start with this little girl over here. Watch, she's going to just blink her eyes back and forth at you because she has the rare wire lever mechanism at the back of the head. She is a Steiner, and I was so taken with this girl and her wonderful trunk and her wonderful costumes that until I cataloged her, I hadn't paid attention to what model she was. She is a very, very rare model, the Series A. I went back and looked through all of our, we have the ongoing catalogs that we have on our website, and you yourself can go in and you can search out any doll you want to find out about. So I went through and searched, and out of many, many years of cataloging, we've only had 3 or 4 Series A. Very, very rare model to have. Series C will show up quite often. They look very similar, but it's not the same. It's Series A with wire lever eyes, wonderful costume, and these other additional, just beautiful costumes that she has. There's a couple in the back that were made more recently by the family, but the ones I'm showing you in the front were original factory costumes, and they're just absolutely beautiful with a little fabulous little bonnet, and one of them here has right here, this great pink bonnet. That's just really beautiful too. And her original trunk. So that's a rare little treasure. We come over here to another little, I think she's a size 1 Jumeau, and she has, look at her little shoes. Her little shoes have the signature on them. She has original Jumeau chemise. She's even carrying the little gilt ormolu flower holder with wax flowers in it, and her original chemise and her wonderful early bonnet. Let you not forget Schmidt, who did not make as many dolls as Jumeau, but whose dolls are so eagerly sought. Schmidt et Fils, and this is a wonderful representation of an early doll from that company with beautiful original dress and costume. I want to remember to show you the back of these costumes because you're not seeing them in the catalog. Little early FG face, brown eyes, beautiful original little, look at those little bodies. See what I mean about fitting in the palm of the hand? They're so dear. And she's wearing her original little chemise. So here's what I say, when you say you don't, I can't possibly get any more dolls in my house, think about these. You can always get these little ones in. Another early Jumeau in this wonderful early dress with early decoration on it, and she has wonderful early leather shoes, and let me turn her around so you can see the back of her as well. Beautiful early costume. Big, dramatic blue eyes, gorgeous. And check out the Bru. Is she a stunner? Little tiny blue-eyed Bru, She is the same facial model as the Bebe-Teteur that I showed you, that I said they made into bebes as well. And here she is in this tiny, tiny size, so desirable. I'll turn her around so you can see her wonderful bonnet. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful brown shoes, jewelry, the whole thing. And then finally another little Emile Jumeau with her original parasol and wonderful little shoes. Let me look at her shoes and show them to you. Yeah, they're marked size 1. They're little Jumeau shoes marked size 1, exactly as she is, a size 1 with her original dress. Just great. You can never have too many of these. Come on, turn back around. Show the world your face. There they are. So I thought I would show you a wonderful assortment of dolls made by Emile Jumeau. As you undoubtedly know, Emile Jumeau is perhaps the most prolific of all of the French bébé doll makers in the last 20 years of the 1800s. And people tend to think he made just one model. But he made many models, and he worked really hard. He was a marketing guru. He was a genius. He was the Henry Ford of the doll world in the 1800s, because he has created his own factory where he had control of everything, making the bisquettes, designing the bisquettes, making the bodies, making the costumes, the wigs, even the eyes were blown on site, the boxes for the dolls, all of the marketing. They were brilliant, and he did so much creative, wonderful work. So I wanted to show you that I have 2 dolls here that are really interesting. It's this little girl in blue in the front, and then the girl in the red dress up above. And both of these dolls were created by Jumeau as a result of competition. One of his people that had worked for him broke away and started his own company, and he started making dolls that were pretty much copies of what Jumeau had been making. Jumeau sued him. There was a big lawsuit, and Jumeau won. And as a result, 2 of the models that this other fellow had made, he won the rights to, the trade names. And one of them was the Bébé Français, which is the little girl in blue in the front, the Bébé Français. This was in 1892. And then in the back, the girl in the red dress, and this is the Paris Bébé. Again, in 1892, he won this lawsuit. Well, what he immediately did is he made faces that were very distinctive because he wanted to have something different than what he'd been making. And if you look at them, you see they're very distinctive. What's important about these faces is that what they evolved into shortly thereafter, within a year, were the 200 series of Jumeau characters that are so extraordinarily rare and are perhaps considered one of the prime sought-after characters in the whole Jumeau line. So the Paris Bébé and the Bébé Français marked BF on the back of the head, 2 important Jumeau dolls. I've included this girl because she is so totally, totally original. Everything about her. I'm going to pull her over here just a little bit so I can turn her around and you can see. In the early Jumeau days, he was making, everything was so absolutely impeccable and original. This doll would be created about the 1890 period. You can tell from the style of the clothing. And it doesn't have the same intricate stitching that his early costumes did, but it has pizzazz, it has glamour, it has beautiful fabrics, beautiful brocade, silk fabric, lace borders with tiny little black beading trim on them that are repeated up on the yoke, wonderful Alençon lace, silk ribbons, and then the matching bonnet, which is totally original, fitted over this superb, so soft and beautiful mohair wig. A totally original doll, just as she would have come out of the box, almost 130 years ago. It's remarkable, remarkable. Now, look what we're left with. I call them the sizes. She is a size 1 Jumeau. Size 1 Jumeau, Tête Jumeau, size 1. And then we have the very lovely, standing next to her, the Bébé Français. But look at the big sister. This is a rarity. Do not overlook this. Don't underestimate how rare this doll is, because I'm going to tell you that in nearly 50 years of cataloging, it's the first one I've seen. First of all, it's a size 20 Jumeau. And in his documents, we know that Jumeau only made the size 20 for exhibition size. It's extremely rare, custom work. This is now, when you look at it, you think, well, it's a Tet model. It's very beautiful. It's a Tet model. No, it's not. It is rare. It is marked on the back of the head with the incised mark, Déposé Jumeau 20. So exceptionally rare. There may not be another one in existence. I don't know of any other myself, and we certainly have never sold one. Very, very beautiful bisque, lovely antique costume, parasol, bonnet, and shoes with the gilt letter marking of the Bebe Jumeau, size 20. Very, very rare. So rare size, virtually unknown. Rare marking on the head, Déposé Jumeau, signed, size 20 Jumeau shoes. Everything about her, an extraordinary rarity and beauty.